What's up, folks? Eddie Ads here, and I'm here with Dr. Bose, who is streaming to us from India, as far as I know. And I found him actually via the IP Hunters Twitter space the other day. I was listening to them chat about Ukraine and Russia and the conflict that's going on there. And we're going to get Dr. Bose's take and analysis on what's going on, who's attacking whom, is there any good guys, what's actually going on, and kind of the bigger picture as well. I want to thank you for coming on the show, sir. But before we get to Ukraine and Russia, could you just give a brief introduction to yourself?
Well, thanks a lot, Addy, and thanks. It's a real honor for me to be in your show. I mean, I heard of it along. A lot of my friends told me about Addy ads, but I never got the privilege. It's a real honor for me. Uh, and okay, fine. I was born in India, and I've done my aerospace engineering from India. Then I went to London for my master's, and there I have done my master's on aerospace, and I've done my MBA in quality assurance from Glasgow. Uh, went to Soviet Russia at that time. It was pretty long time back, and I've learned my PGDBM on virology from Timoshenko University of Chemical and Biological Warfare in Russia with my PhD. And then I went to Israel. I stayed in Israel for a couple of years, and then I shifted to United States. And in US, I went to John Hopkins for my second PhD on clinical psychology and psychoanalytics. And after that, I went to Germany for my postdoc on Psycho Kinetics from Kaiser Wilhelm. And again, I went back to United States, and there I have done my third PhD. It sounds funny, but anyway, on Georgetown University on geopolitics, and PhD in geopolitics from Georgetown University and international relations. And then I got the privilege to be a scholarship student in Princeton, where I've done my postdoc on international terrorism and security. So after that, I started working with a lot many think tanks, and I myself is a think tank. So my main focus is on global security, international terrorism, counterintelligence, counter operations, as well as on purely on geopolitics and analysis. So I, being an analyst, so this is always being my cup of tea. Uh, Previous life is previous life, but this is my passion. So that's why I'm here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, sir, and I appreciate the high praise coming from you. You're obviously a well established professional academic with a lot of time spent on world geopolitics and international relations, as you mentioned. What do you think is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect about the Ukraine-Russia conflict, if we can start with that?
Well, first of all, we have to understand this thing, the basic feeling of the people of any country. That before I go to the main answer, see, I don't want anyone who's coming from a foreign country and landing on my shore or landing on my backyard and telling me, hey, you just go out of this room. Uh-huh. So similarly, uh, when the NATO tried to intervene inside uh, the Ukrainian provinces, Russia had to intervene because if it was a normal war between Ukraine and Russia, then Russia and Ukraine would have solved it. But the third party influence, like NATO, screwed up the entire sanctity as well as the peace of that region. So Russia will not tolerate that if somebody is NATO is fixing missile base inside Ukraine, because end of the day, the entire tectonic plate of Russia and Ukraine comes under the same Russian mainland. So Russia will not tolerate that. And as per the Minsk Protocol, neither NATO will intervene in Russians in the eastern part, neither Russian countries will go and join the NATO, because in 1994, Vladimir Putin once, in discussion with Bill Clinton, the president of the United States at that time, he said that, okay, is there any options for Russia to join the NATO. He just laughed and we said no, and just laughed away, and that was on records. So after that, Putin realized that no, it is not possible. So let the Russians be in the side, let the NATO be in the other side. So that was all about the story. But it has a different part. The main reason is something different, but that is one of the reasons actually. And the second question you might ask me, but before you give me that question, I just want to add one more important point. It was all about gas and energy. So
Wow. Can you expand on that, please, sir? Because I think that's a part of the world that, especially my country's folk in general, are not very good at geography, but we don't understand it, I think, a lot, especially the pipelines.
yeah, I mean, there are two pipelines. One from one is called as the Nord Stream 1, and the other one is Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 1 coming directly to Ukraine and other countries, whereas Nord Stream 2 is going under the ocean towards Germany, Italy, France, and all other countries, Spain. Now, the problem is Germany has only one month time to save its people as well as its industry, because all the German industries are based on the gas and pipelines, including the German homes, German kitchens, German households. So now what happened? Russia is giving the gas at a very lower price, or rather a cheaper price compared to any other country. So the German household is okay for the Russian gas because it is good quality gas and is the number one gas producing country in the world, the Gazprom from Russia. So they're providing this gas, but some way, some people didn't like it. And they thought, okay, let's do one thing. Let's stop Russian gas. Let's sell our own gas to them at a better price, at a higher price, so that we will get the benefits out of it. And let Russia be a sitting duck or a scapegoat. So that is one of the reasons, because somebody from the States don't like that. Okay. So even I stay in Texas. So right now I'm in India, but I'm an American citizen. So I have no problem with US. But the policymakers right now, the present policymakers in US are not the right people to make the policies. They're dancing in the tunes of George Soros, who just want to get the best of the benefits out of it, so that Russia should not be given the privilege of its gas exports. Rather, they want to sell American gas to Germany at a higher price, so that the third person, Soros, or other and his group of League of People will get the benefits out of it. So, for example, if Russia is giving gas for example, $2 per barrel, then United States is giving that gas at $40 per barrel. See the difference?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's an example. It's a hypothetical way of saying this, but that is the reality. People might not be knowing that. And none of the news channels are providing that right information, including the think tanks. They're just singing the song with the policymakers.
Yeah. You're that's amazing stuff, sir. What about Zelensky? What's your analysis on this guy, Zelensky?
Well, recently some Pentagon officials said that he might be a cousin of George Soros. But okay, let's say it this way: George Soros' family been killed in the Auschwitz, and he was a German Jew. So Austrian Jew. I'm sorry, Hungarian Jew, and
he was at the siege of Budapest, I believe.
Absolutely, Hungarian Jew. So and Zelensky, he is also a Jew, so-called Jew, and he's claiming that okay, I'm a Jew, and but the Russians are killing the Jews. That kind of thing he's trying to make in picture to get some sympathy out of Israel, but luckily Israelis are much more sensible and they understand what they see and what they can perceive. Now, Zelensky is basically a sitting duck, a clown. You cannot rule a country with a clown. You can rule a country with a reporter who is 24/7 working in this particular subject. He can be a good politician, a very good business person, a very good business, because politics nowadays is business. So a very good business tycoon can be a politician, but a joker cannot be a politician. That's my take. That's completely my opinion. Okay. Now, and he will see from his point of view, his point of making people laugh, making people, okay. But it's like in this way that the man who controlled the monkey, and if the monkey has been given the chance to run the country, what will be the situation of the country? It's exactly like that. And Zelensky, if I'm not wrong, I doubt, but from his facial expressions and from the way he praised Soros, I feel that maybe he is related to Soros very well. We have to check their DNA.
Wow, that's fascinating stuff there, sir. Who do you think does Zelensky have fealty to Ukraine, to Israel, to the United States? Where do you think his fealty lies?
Oh no, he has no problem with Ukraine because he hardly cares about Ukraine. If he was a real Ukrainian, then he wouldn't be having a fight with the Russians. He wouldn't be putting his people's life in the line of fire against the Russians. Okay, now, as I said, he was a clown. He is dancing in the tunes of Uncle Biden.
Okay. What about the bio labs there, Dr. Bose, or the bioweapons? What's your take on that in NATO, in the United States government's presence there with these laboratories?
Okay. First of all, during the Soviet era, Ukraine had a few biolabs. One of the biolabs was Yuri Mechnikov Plague Research Institute in Odessa. And after that, in 2020, I will not say 2020, it is 2014, Eric Prince, the owner and the CEO of the Blackwater Group, he started traveling to Ukraine. And even Soros has not many investments in Ukraine. He recently, in 2020, he has bought a land in Ukraine, a big portion of his land, some development project, some real estate project of his own. We don't know that what kind of real estate it is, but it should be some kind of bioweapons related real estate project. Now, 2021, 7th of July, Time magazine released a cover mentioning that Eric Prince in his suit standing, he is in different attire, but this time he was in pure suit, tuxedo, and with his picture saying that Mr. Prince is looking for oil in Ukraine. Now, Ukraine has many natural resources, oil, gas, minerals, so that might be the possibility. But the reality is, Blackwater owner Eric Prince successfully created a private military contracting company inside Ukraine. So it's like this, that if you want to invade a country, you first have to go and stay there as a tourist. Then you create an organization inside that country. You attract people for the job. And after you attract people for the job, and you bring some people from outside of your team, from other country where you are based, actually as trainers. These trainers will train them as a perfect military contractor, because those Ukrainians don't even have heads to understand what these people are doing, what is their intention. Now, Eric Prince, the private military contractor of Blackwater Academy, he is working under the guidance of CIA as well as George Soros. And George Soros is controlling Joe Biden.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Fascinating stuff.
Coming to the point, the second part is, you said about biolabs.
Yes.
Okay. Eric Prince started creating the biolabs George Soros made the biolabs, and Eric Prince started giving it the security to the biolabs. How's it? Because he's specialized in securing the perimeter of those places. So he is securing the biolabs with his boys and the local Ukrainian boys who his company has employed and trained.
Yes. Okay.
So whose biolab is that, and who has the stakes in that? Now the stakes have Pfizer Corporation, Rockefeller, Bill Gates, George Soros, Hunter Biden, and obviously Uncle Joe.
Wow. Do you, as far as, and you're just really great at this big picture stuff. Do we know exactly what's going on the ground as far as casualties and anything like that? Do you know if we have verifiable intelligence?
Well, few days back, 15 days back, there was an Indian journalist who came out of, he was so frustrated, he came out and he made his own video that, okay, what you are saying, what all the video, all the global news channels are showing you was wrong because they've been confined in an area in Ukraine. And we've been told to go to this place instead of that place. So they are all been confined to a place where they have some bombings and the houses are broken and there are big like holes in the middle of the ground, and they're saying, oh, this is the Russians have done. Now, first of all, this is not the Russian way of warfare. Russia is more massive, more ruthless when it comes to massive warfare. Okay, so this is a tactics. This is a black operation tactics. Okay, and this is kind of information warfare, psyops. These are the two important parts. They planned it so well that if you understand this thing, recently it's popping up in the news channels, all the global news channels. Oh my goodness, Russia had killed these people with their hands tied at their back. For your kind information, that was completely wrong. Why it's completely wrong? Because if this person is standing in front of me and he's shooting at me, I will shoot at him. I will not put him in my hands behind him and will torture him to death. Because in warfare, the first option is, if you have any doubt, start shooting. So
right.
That's the point. Because soldier to soldier, they will do the same way, the reaction rate of the soldier to soldier. Now, if you caught someone, so if you catch someone and you torture him, and then you kill him, and then you dump him into the hole, unfortunately, very few international organizations ever realize that one of those dead bodies in their right hand has a tattoo of the Bratva. Now, Bratva is the Russian mafia. And we all know, like United States, instead of sending its soldiers, they used private military contractor, Britain's private military contractor, all spec op boys, as well as mercenaries and some mercenaries. I will not say all mercenaries. And then the local rebels, the Ukrainian soldiers, all into a tied up team. Similarly, to counter that, Russia brought the rebels, the Chechen rebels. Russia brought the rebels from Donbass and Lugansk. Russia brought some rebels from some specialized soldier of the world's best private military contractor called as Wagner Group of Russia. And along with that, Russia also brought the Spetsnaz. This Spetsnaz is completely different from the Spetsnaz we have seen. This is 45th Guards of the Spetsnaz Kuvinga Brigade. It is the toughest of all Spetsnaz. This is the first time Putin has brought this particular Spetsnaz from all the way from Kamchatka in Russia. So their operation is completely different. Now, these guys you see, there was a video a few days back that 2 or 3 of the normal Russian Chechen soldiers been caught by the a private military contractor in retaliation to few private, 6 or 7 American private military contractors being arrested and caught by the Russians. So in retaliation, they also caught some of these guys. And then, while Russia has taken them in custody, the NATO version, the Ukrainians, what they have done, they started killing them, and that was videoed. And sooner after that, what they have done, they have created this situation in such a manner that people thought, oh my goodness, the Russians are like ruthless. They have killed them. Now, no soldier, he will kill like a prisoner. No, they don't kill a prisoner. They can't go for a hand-to-hand combat. This is psyops, hand-to-hand combat. In a hand-to-hand combat, if they can kill each other, fine, that's different. But they will not tie there. That's a sentiment of a soldier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the third point is very important. Ukraine is the first country who has given the guns to the civilians. Now, if you are a soldier, if I am a soldier, we fight with each other. Okay. Sometimes your head is popping up, watching me, and you shooting me. Next time, my head is popping up, watching you and shooting you. Okay. If we are lucky, we are saved. If we are not lucky, one of us will get killed. That's simple as warfare. But a civilian, he has undergone video games, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and they're, well, oh, I can use the AK-47. I can use the Scorpion Evo. I can use the M16. My goodness, I have the gun in front of me. So they take the gun. They start shooting. And they thought they can kill the specialized, trained, the Russian soldiers or the Chechen rebels. They're excellent trainers, excellent warriors. Equally, you have, the Americans also have the excellent warriors. So they shoot them, they caught them. In the middle, they got the retaliation. So what is the guarantee? What is the guarantee? This person has been killed before by a bullet wound, and then his body has been twisted. I mean, I've been shot first, I'm dead. Then in my dead body, my hand has been tied back, and then the picture has been taken to fool the world, to fool the United Nations that Russia has made the torture on them.
Right. More psyops, more propaganda coming from the...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any inkling of where this is going to develop to? Are we going to have new lines, a new country? Yeah, what do you think? How long is this going to go on for? Do you have any inkling on projections as far as that goes?
See, first of all, this war would have ended within 72 hours of from the day of its starting. Why it had happened? Because if you remember that time, many foreign nationals, even 20,000 Indian students were also got stuck over there. So many countries, people were there in the battle zone. They were there traveling there with their families. So until unless these people are coming out of Ukraine, Russia cannot start the full-fledged bombing and crush that opposition. But there were some disturbing pictures of T-72 tanks being destroyed, and every day they are saying, hey, we have just destroyed a Russian tank. We have destroyed 2 Russian choppers. But first of all, none of the news channels ever shown that airspace has been disturbed, has been overlapped, has been crossed by any of this NATO airplane or the Russian airplane. Okay, if there was an air warfare, then there would have been a dogfight in air from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
There hadn't been any dogfight in air. Okay, that's a very important point. Okay, if Russia has to throw missiles, Russia will not send only one missile. Russia will send multiple missiles and crush that or rubble the city. So that is not that. Actually, the situation was it was completely a fake allegation towards Russia, and it was a continuous sabotage made by the Azov battalion, the neo-Nazi battalion, in support of the foreign entities over there who is supporting the Ukrainian government. What they have done, they destroyed the house with the ID, and then that few people were there, they got killed, and then they said, oh, see, this is the Russian bomb has destroyed it. How many people have checked the ballistic reports of the, whether it's an IED, whether it's a missile drop? There was a news that Russia has bombed the Chernobyl plant, but no, Russia didn't. Because if the Chernobyl plant has been destroyed, there would have been a small or major radiation, and that radiation will also affect Russian border. So I'm not that moron to destroy, to cut my own leg. No, I don't.
Right.
Neither of us. Okay. So that was not a possibility. What they have done, they have bombed 4 to 5 buildings away, a precise bombing. That created a concussion, electronic concussion. And that concussion make the people hiding inside it to run away out of it, and then they shoot them and kill them. That's all actually happened. So still, the Ukrainians, there was videos the Ukrainians are keeping 2 or 3 girls in the lamp post and tying up and giving torture. That was very viral, and sooner after 2 days, it has been vanished from the social media. So you can understand that they are keeping people in hostage. So unless, and Russia is playing a very diplomatic manner, playing the game in a very diplomatic manner, because Russia has not bombed the city or the place where civilians have been taken hostages by the neo-Nazi battalion or Azov battalion. That to be honest.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Another important point is Zelensky said he's a Jew, minded. Don't ever utter this word that I love Hitler in front of a Jew. Okay? And neo-Nazi battalion, Azov battalion, had a pro-founder. The man's name was Stephen Berada. Stephen Berada comes from the lineage of Reich Commissar of the Second World War. Reich Commissar and the Reich Minister of the Second World War in 1940, they killed 5 million Ukrainians, including Ukrainian Jews, including ethnic Russians over there. So how come the Ukrainian people turned up into the Nazi battalion again? They became converted into Nazis because their forefathers have been killed by the Nazis. So if Zelensky is saying, I love the Nazi, but I'm a Jew, then no Jew, my mother is a Jew, so I know that. No Jew will tolerate that you are praising the man who was himself, like Hitler, who has created the Nazi swastika and other things. So that was completely a deception theory. It is a deception theory to fool the people of Ukraine.
Right, right. So in that sense, Zelensky is being a traitor to his fellow Jewish people, if he is indeed Jewish.
Absolutely. Because no Jew, trust me, Addy, no Jew will tolerate if you talk, oh, you know what, Addy, I love Hitler. Oh, what a handsome guy. Okay, so no Jew will tolerate that.
Right, right, yeah. Wow. And, you know, as a battalion holding hostages, that's really what's prolonged this the most, would you say, is Russia's, like you said,
absolutely.
diplomacy.
2014 till 2021 November, 20,000 women and children has been mercilessly murdered, raped, and killed in Donbass region. There was a report which has not been shown to the global community. And United Nations, I hold United Nations equally responsible for the murder of these people. Infants, like 2 months or 3 months infants, fingers have been chopped out by the Azov battalion because their mothers not likingly. They don't want it to sleep with them, and they have been gang raped by the Azov battalions, and their mothers, their grandmoms, their nannies has been killed, raped, murdered, raped, and their body mutilated and dumped into graves, and equally the children's. So there are 20,000 graves found by the Russian as well as some Ukrainian, I mean, DPR region, Donbass and Lugansk people, Donetsk and Lugansk people, and the Minister of Health of Donbass, he himself, some Mikhail something, he was a doctor. He was crying in front of the TV. He was literally crying. He's saying, "We can't take this picture. I'm a doctor. I can't take this picture." Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so the Nazis were the Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis act like the real Nazis acted like real Nazis. Yeah. And how many are there in this battalion?
85,000
85,000?
strength. Yes, I don't know. I mean, how many Russia has destroyed, but
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, let's take it this way: 50,000 now after the war, during the war.
Sure. Wow, that's much more than I anticipated. I thought it was even a smaller group, but
Because it's a program. It's a program. Okay. In 1958, CIA created a program called Operation Mockingbird. It's a psychological program. In retaliation, Soviet Russia with Germany created in 1980s, 79-80s, Operation Infection.
okay. Is that the same idea?
Now,
Same idea as
same idea.
Mockingbird?
Counter-offensive.
Okay.
With biowarfare, with ideological subversion, asymmetric warfare, information, deception, misinformation. Everything is like a porridge. They put it inside us like a porridge, and they're serving it to the people. So that is all about it. And along with that, this same ideology has been utilized again by Uncle Soros by displaying Uncle Biden as the most strongest man on earth.
Mm. Do you think that does Soros answer to somebody, or who does Soros answer to? Does he have a boss?
Yes. So yes, Soros as a boss is exactly two bosses. Rothschild, the man with the banking, he is the czar of international banking, and Rockefeller, David Rockefeller family, he is the czar of international pharma cabal as well as the fuel cabal or the gas cabal.
Okay. Wow. So it's really again goes back to the bankers.
Absolutely, because that's how it the equilibrium, the global equilibrium. Actually, if you see this program, it is called as the global restate something. I forgot the word. To reactivate or something. I mean, I can't say. I forgot actually the word. Restate something like that.
Okay.
To recreate or restate kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. You can probably send it to me afterwards, and I can fill it in.
Yes, I will do it. I will do it.
Okay. Wow. And we got about 15 minutes or so left here, sir. I want to be respectful of your time. What is your take on Vladimir Putin? Because he's somebody in the West, in our country, gets painted as a villain, pretty much like one-dimensionally a villain.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. Obviously, we can accept Putin as a villain, but I have a question. 2020, President Trump was the villain in US in front of the Democrats. I don't call them Democrats. I call them Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Democrats used to call President Trump as the biggest villain in the history of the United States. But President Trump was the greatest ever after Ronald Reagan. He was the greatest ever nationalist ever came as a president to the United States. If you observe it, last 50 years, there was the Cold War going on between the United States and North Korea. It was President Trump who solved that riddle, who shook hands with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and who solved the issue that no other American president has done it before.
Yeah.
It was President Trump. During his era, the economy has grown up. And President Trump always respected Putin because the reason is Vladimir Putin has no intention to encroach any other country apart from his own country. He's more bothered about his own country's economy. He never had any problem with anyone, but it is always the Dems who started creating this issue. Why Putin is the villain of the American Democrats and the liberals? The reason is Mikhail Borisovich Khodorkovsky, the richest oligarch of Russia, who has been jailed in Gulag by Putin for betraying his country. This Khodorkovsky is a bosom friend of Soros. And this Khodorkovsky was the man who brought Clinton into the regime. This Khodorkovsky brought Obama into the regime. So someone didn't like that Khodorkovsky is in jail from the United States. So this group of witches in the United States, Pelosi, Feinstein, Harris, Ilhan Omar, Cortez, Schumer, Romney, Schiff, Sanders, they didn't like the nationalist president. So to stop Trump, they tried to play this game to blame Putin on it. But Putin is a great leader. He never attacked any country. He never abused anyone. And he never fall down from the staircase of his airplane, Air Force One.
Right. He knows how to walk upstairs. That's a plus for sure.
Absolutely. In other words, I will say he's a man with the balls of steel. Trust me, like President Trump.
Oh wow. Do you think Trump's going to come back? Since you brought him up, 2024.
Definitely. Because as I said in the first, Eddie, if who can understand the politics? Because a best businessman can understand the politics. Politics is business. It's a global business. So controlling trade and relationships with countries, diplomacy and trade runs hand in hand in politics. So a businessman, he is one of the finest diplomats. He is one of the finest politicians. To understand the sentiment of his customers, he is playing psyops to understand the sentiments and to sell them the stuff he has. So that is one kind of psyops. Okay, and the diplomacy. I mean, like he is a businessman of one country, and Mr. X is a businessman of other country. They have the relationship that okay, I will invest in your country. You should also invest in my country. So that kind of diplomacy. So the only man who can stand tall in this entire crowd, obviously not the shaking Biden, but the ramrod Trump, the right person to control the United States and save the people of America. Because this war, if it continues for another 3 months, American GDP will go down to hell like Pakistan. And take my word, I'm telling you this seriously. If anyone is listening to this, let them know this thing very clearly. 35 billion American taxpayers' money has been dumped into a country in Ukraine, named as Ukraine, which has no connection with the United States in the last 50 years. Whereas American citizens are paying heavy taxes. It's not their war. Why
Yeah.
you think the soldiers are not there? American soldiers are not there in the field because the soldier. It's not the American soldiers' war.
Hmm.
So that's why these countries are using mercenary forces, triple the amount of the money from the taxpayers' money they are paying every day from the to the mercenary forces to fight their war because their soldiers are not going there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was 50 billion with a B or
I
million?
said 35 billion,
Oh, I'm
35
sorry.
billion with a B.
35 billion with a B. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is sad news. One, and we can spin off if this is too left field, but just maybe for our last few minutes here. What about the CCP in China? Are they got to be influencing somehow, right? Are they completely standing by? What are they doing?
See, China is watching the game. The reason is China realized that if United States raging a war with Russia with the help of scapegoat Ukraine, China will be the beneficiary in the long run. Why? If Russia stopped selling its gas to European countries, China will take the entire gas for her own benefit because China is running in lower quantity of gas. In fact, the
Mm-hmm.
breaking news coming up today that China has scarcity of food. Okay, so that is one important point, and I believe that uh, this is actually what I said. It is all about gas and power. Somebody wants to stay in their power for a long, long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Great stuff. Great stuff, doctor. Really, really thorough understanding. I hope we can talk again, sir. This has been great. Thanks for the flexibility with scheduling. We did it kind of short notice, and I didn't even know who you were, until Chris Hunter invited me to you guys' chat. So that was really great. Big shout out to him again. And your Twitter account is in the show notes. It's at Dr. KanaKanta, KanaKanta. And yeah, any final? What if people want to support
Uh,
you or learn more from you? They can go to your Twitter. Anywhere else?
yes, I have two accounts in Twitter. One is KanaKanta. Actually, my official name is Bharat Bose, but KanaKanta is a Japanese salutation given to me as the warrior monk. I'm a monk, so that's why you warrior monk. So it's a Japanese word of KanaKanta. And I have
Wow.
two accounts. One is Kana Bose, another one is KanaKanta Bharat Bose. So they can definitely join me in any of the accounts. And my only thing is, please, guys, please close your eyes, take a deep breath, think for yourself. You can't vote a person who is taking away your money, who is spending your money in some other business. Well, within few days, you will not have fuel in your country, or the right price will be rocket high. So it will be
Hmm.
very difficult for us, for everyone. I'm
Yeah.
talking on
Yeah.
behalf of everyone. So
Yeah.
please take a deep breath and don't support this person because this person is evil. He's waging war in some other country. Few months back, he dumped 75 billion American taxpayers' money worth munitions in Afghanistan to divert that attention. He created this mess again. He's planning to do something else again. So please stop this maniac. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
Wow.
God
Great
bless
stuff,
America.
doctor. Great stuff, doctor. Thanks to the audience. Please go give him a follow. I'm gonna add his second Twitter, but his primary Twitter is there. And again, hopefully we can do this again, doctor. Really, really a pleasure and a surprise this week. So thank you again.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor. Really, it's an honor. I mean, the only thing I can say that, as I said again, close your eyes, think from your heart, think what is right and what is wrong, because you will see the picture and in front of your eyes. And then you'll realize what is the reality and what is not the reality.
Mhm.
So
Great.
it's our country. We have to save our country,
Yeah.
and we have to stand united. So don't forget, united we stand. That's why we call us United States of America. United we stand. It's a country of the home of the brave, right? That's a right. So that's more important.
Mhm.
The people of the United States are very brave people. I salute them. So
Wow.
don't
Great.
forget the flag of your forefathers who fought for your independence.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
let this communist people like Biden and his group of uh, filthy evils destroying your country's fabric, moral fabric, and nationalist fabric. Fight for America.
Mhm.
Don't fight for Biden. Fight
Mhm.
for Trump. MAGA.
Great stuff to end on there, sir. Stay frosty, folks. Thanks for listening. This will be available everywhere podcasts can be found, and Rockfin for video. And we'll see everybody next time.